Hello.
Hello.
Can I ask you, what is your name?
Paula.
Paula, and your surname?
Svarten.
Svarten. And where are you from?
Sweden.
From Sweden. What do you think about our time? Are there a lot of problems or not?
Oh, there's many problems in our modern world, I think. But some of them are becoming very visible now, for example, with the environment. And I also think in mental health, how people are feeling, that people are stressed today, and we say that we are much healthier now than we were in the past, which we are in a way, but I think mentally and emotionally people are not feeling okay.
Okay, but in the past, let's look in the Middle Age, for example. Maybe the people were not so stressed, but they had nothing to eat, for example.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, so we are healthier in many aspects, but I think considering everything we have in today's world, one would assume that we are happier than we are.
But I think we are really happy. We live in, for example, in Europe, in Sweden or in Germany, we live in poor luxus. Luxury, or not?
Yes, but luxury that, yes, makes our lives convenient. Things are much easier today than in the past. We have access to many things and services, ways to improve ourselves, and healthcare. But I think there's something missing, something deep inside, something human, a human need.
Something like it's a soul.
Yes, our souls, our spirit, our souls are not being satisfied.
We lost these things?
I think we have lost them, and that's partly because we are not connected to nature, and that part of our being, it's suffering from that.
Can we get them back?
I think we can easily get it back if we just spend more time with nature, make it part of our lives, see nature as that we are visiting this planet, and see how nature can teach us things. We would feel so much better for that.
Okay, so let's say back to nature, like in the 70s?
Yes, I know it sounds very sort of utopia and sort of tree hugging, but in a way, yes, I think that can satisfy that part of our needs.
So we must find a way to the nature, to the earth, to feel the earth, to feel the nature, something like that. We lost it.
Yeah, I think we've lost it completely. We are not taught to respect it. If you look at what the leaders of the world are doing to nature, they're using it for their profit. They have this extraction attitude towards it, and that spills down to the rest of society. And
how can we find the way to the nature, back to the nature?
Well, that would require education for people. It would require people that already do have this connection with nature to help other people take that route. I don't think we can rely on the politicians or the decision makers to help us with that. That needs to be like a mini revolution.
Yeah, but we have a mini revolution with populism, with racism and so on. It's also a kind of revolution, if you want. You have a lot of right-thinking people now, all in the whole world, in the whole Europe.
Yeah, there will always be change. People will always be fighting for something because they don't like what they're presently seeing. Some are good, some are bad. But I don't think we can compare this back to nature, change, revolution, what do you want to call it, to right-wing populism. That's something else. I mean, let's say we do go back to nature, I'm sure many decades later people will be rebelling against that. And they will then leave nature and continue like we are today. It goes in waves.
In the waves. But the wave just in the moment goes to nature, or should go to the nature.
Yes, now it needs to go to nature. And I don't know if we're all capable of taking that route.
If you live in Sweden, you live in Sweden also,
yes.
The people are not connected with the nature there?
As in compared to many other countries in Europe, yes, we have lots of land. We are few people. So there is people like the outdoors and they have an affinity to being out in nature, but I don't think that's enough. When I mean nature, I mean really working with it, respecting it, letting it control us to a certain extent. It's rethinking of ourselves. And no, not even Swedish people have that. The people that do have that are indigenous people around the world. They are the ones that know how to live in harmony with nature.
But something like solar energy or windcraft energy is working with nature.
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, that is using nature, but that's us then taking something from nature, manipulating it to our needs, and that it works really well. And that's another example of that's something else than what I was saying. I was saying more relying less on man-made things and living in nature, using nature, natural foods, going out forage and picking herbs. I mean, today we were out on this hill and we were picking herbs and just snacking on them. So there's different levels of how you can work with nature.
What about the culture? What about the culture? It's different to nature, something.
Yeah, no, culture we could say is like man-made. Nature is what's there, and there's been theorizing that man is to nature what man is to culture, what woman is to nature, and culture is something that we create for our benefit, and it's in conflict with nature. And I agree to a certain extent.
There's a conflict between nature and culture.
Sometimes.
But if you listen to music, to read a book, it's also culture. To see a theater or something like that, literature. All this is important, I think.
Yeah, there's good culture, but that's not culture.
It's good culture, okay.
Yeah, that's culture. That's not necessarily related to nature. But it's if you look at human evolution and how we've developed.
What is bad culture, for example?
It's anything humans do that is not respecting the world that we are living in, creating something artificial.
Art is artificial, or not? Also music, also paintings.
No, I think it comes from within us, where it serves a purpose.
It comes from the soul,
yeah.
maybe, and so from the nature.
Yeah, exactly. It's inspired by nature. I think music and art often.
Okay, let's go back to nature. I thank you very much,
Thank
Paula.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.